Hi, I'm Scott from Solus Financial, and this is a client update for my clients, friends and family. None of the information in this video is personal advice. Please give me a call before doing anything. Well, this video is going to be a little bit different. It might be a little bit longer. I want to cover off on the current market conditions. I want to have a crash course in bonds, and I want to talk about how Solus Financial is hiring. We're growing bigger, we're getting more staff, and we're trying to employ really good people. So firstly, market update. Yesterday we almost hit a record high. This is the chart of the Australian share market in the last 12 months, which I normally show you. And yesterday was very close to a record high. We're going to get there, but you can see over the year it's been a little bit bumpy, but all in all, we're up about 8% on the Australian share market over the last 12 months. If you're a client of mine, you would have seen this chart a lot of times. This is the share market since 1985. You can see there's a couple of big events. You've got the global financial crisis just here, and you've got the 1987 crisis back here. This is the size here of the pandemic and the fall in the share market then. It's about 35%, but still nothing on the global financial crisis really. Okay, a crash course in bonds. There's a lot of things that are going on in the bond market at the moment, and some super funds are struggling because bond returns are negative at the moment. And I'm going to try and explain why and how bonds work in about 2 minutes, where you can do 2 years of university and still not fully understand how this all works. Okay, try and think of a bond like a term deposit. It's got a term and it's got an interest rate associated with it, which they call yield. Okay, so to give an example using term deposits, last year we could, the best term deposit I could find was about 0.2% interest for 12 months. Now I'm finding the best term deposit I can find is from Macquarie. They're paying 1.9% for a 12-month term deposit. So a huge increase in the interest rates that are being offered by banks for term deposits from 0.2 to 1.9. So if you had $100 in a term deposit, last year at the end of your 12 months, you would get $100.20, a whopping 20-cent return on that. Now, after 12 months, you'd get $101.90. And a bond is different than a term deposit in a way because it can be traded every day. So imagine if you had your term deposit that was paying 0.2% interest and you wanted to sell that term deposit to your next door neighbour. You had your $100 in there and you said to your neighbour, hey, you can have my term deposit with $100 in it and it's going to pay out $100.20 in 12 months time. Your neighbour might say, well, why would I do that? I could have my own $100 and I could put it in a term deposit and earn 1.9%. So if you wanted to get your money out of the term deposit, if you wanted to sell it to your neighbour, you might have to sell it for less than $100. So your neighbour would have the same kind of deal, okay? And that's kind of how bonds work. Bonds are traded every minute of the day, and it depends on what the current interest rate is compared to what you've fixed in the interest rate. And that's called duration, and it really depends on how much the interest rate has moved and how long you'd fixed it for, which would then depend on how much you could sell your bond or term deposit for. So in this example, the difference is $1.70 between how much your neighbour could get with $100 in a term deposit today versus buying your term deposit where they would end up with $100.20. So the difference is $1.70. So the term deposit, your original term deposit, you could sell for about $98.30, and that would give your neighbour the same outcome, which is a minus return of 1.7%. Okay. And that is kind of how the bond market works. If you held on to your term deposit, if you said, oh, I don't want to sell it for a loss, and you held on to it for 12 months, you would get your $100 back and your 20 cents. And that's the same with the bond market. We're seeing huge increases in interest rates at the moment, and you can see this along with the banks and their term deposits that are causing negative returns in long duration bonds. So If a super fund has fixed in a really low interest rate on a bond for a long time, then they're seeing massive negative returns at the moment. Vice versa happens if interest rates were to go down. They see big positive returns. Most of our super funds that we manage and all the investments in there have what we call short duration, so very short terms, 1 month, maybe even less. We're starting to see the opportunity to fix in really high interest rates now, like a 1.9% term deposit rate. We can get higher in bonds. So we are starting to fix in that longer duration, longer term with a higher interest rate. And that's simply because we don't believe that interest rates are going to go up as far as what the market and the bond market is saying. Okay, crash course in bonds. So we're hiring. Business is good. We've been doing the right things by clients for a number of years, and I'm just about to hire, and 2 new advisors are about to help me. They're starting early May. So you might be seeing and hearing more from that in the future. I might do a video with them to introduce them. Smart guys, good guys, honest guys. And that's just to help with the workload that I've got in managing all my clients. With that, I need to hire another Sarah. If you're a client of mine, you know that Sarah's probably moved to Perth. She still works for me, but she's going to take some maternity leave off sometime this year. So I'm looking to hire a new entry-level staff so we can train them up over the next 3 or 4 months. So this video really is if you know anyone who's smart, capable, wants to start a career in financial planning, this is a great place to do it in. Sarah and Mel, my staff at the moment, they can help train and assist until they all get trained up. So it's an entry level, no experience is necessary, but passionate about financial planning or finance. They're trained by Sarah, Mel and myself. They must have a great attitude. We've got a great team here. If you've called our office, you've spoken to Mel or Sarah, they're great to work with, they're great people, and we want more people like that. They need to have excellent grades in school and university. There is some complicated things that we need to do from time to time, and you have to be able to have enough kind of under the hood to be able to handle that. They also need to align with our core values. This is something that we talk about internally a lot, and it's something that's really important to us. All of our decision making and our culture is aligned around these 3 things. So any new staff that come on kind of have to have these same kind of beliefs to be a part of our Solace team. Our clients come first, second and third. Any decisions that we make is about that. Any increase in technology or costs is all around what's the benefit for the client. Okay. Take comfort, that's our catchphrase, Solace Financial, take comfort. Our clients, staff, friends and community can take comfort that they'll be looked after by Solace. And I hope that clients of mine, you feel the same, that you feel that we're always trying to give you that sense of comfort and looking after you. We play with a straight bat here. We follow the rules, we're not flashy, we don't take unnecessarily high risks, we don't take big risks in new things, so we can be here for our clients for the long term. That's it for this month. If you'd like to know more about bonds, or if you know of anyone that might fit those values and looking for a job, an entry-level job in finance, please give me a call, write me an email, or forward on the video to someone that you might think. Thanks very much for your time.